Early Intervention Services, and I have Brystan with me here today. We're going to ask some questions about the Jackson County Library Services. So I wanted to ask you a few questions today just so that our families in early intervention have some ideas about the resources at the library, ways that we can make reading interactive and fun for our toddlers, and then also what your favorite book might be. So we'll start with kind of like what are the services that Jackson County Library Services would have for children and young families?
Sure. So right now, how I'll kind of frame this is what we can offer right now and what we're looking forward to in the future as we get back to a sort of sense of normal. So right now we are offering digital story times. They are on our JCLS YouTube channel. We try to keep them pretty short because we understand that screen time is not super ideal for very young kids. But we wanted to keep that story time spark alive. So we have those. We have at least one that comes out every week. We just launched an animated short, like a cartoon, also short, so you can keep that screen time kind of in your mind. But it's just an animated, adventure cartoon. It's just a fun time to get kids kind of in this fantasy world. We also are offering take and makes. They're our version of hands-on programming while we can't do it in our buildings right now. All of our branches have, at least one a month that they offer. Some of our bigger branches have one every week. You can go to we're at front door service right now, so you can pick one up at the door, and they're just simple craft. Everything you need is in there. The instructions, there's no screen, there's no Zoom component, just a fun kind of craft activity you can do at home. For your little ones, they might need some parent assistance, but it should still be fun. Story walks are something that we've been offering since the start of the pandemic. We have we have one coming up in Central Point in a park, but you can see them at a few of our branches, and they're just these kind of passive activities that get you reading and outside and moving, all kind of at the same time. This summer, we'll be having some outdoor in-person programming, which we're very excited to have.
Yes.
Kind of for all ages of kids, but for the little ones, we are offering a couple of toddler aerobics classes. One of our branches is having like a bubble party in story time, and that sounds like a lot of fun. So we're really excited to be around people again.
Yeah.
Hopefully to ease us into resuming our in-person story times, because that was such a big part of what we offered. So normally we have, story times for all ages 0 to preschool age, all throughout the county. So we're looking to get back to those soon. And then next week, if you're really missing library story time, you can take library story time with you. So starting next week, we'll have these story time at home bags, and each bag, they're all revolve around a theme. And each bag has a handful of books, has a coloring sheet and some crayons that you get to keep, and it has some sort of manipulative activity, whether it's a toy or a puzzle or something, to kind of reinforce your motor skills or the theme and the learning that's kind of in the bag, as well as some rhymes and songs and activities that you can do to kind of give you that well-rounded story time experience that we haven't had to have.
So my next question is, what's kind of your favorite way to make story reading interactive, especially again for those young readers?
I love this question. I am a firm believer in the ready to read process, those 5 skills, which is read, write, sing, talk, and play. And it's not that you have to do all of those for every book that you read. But I like to incorporate little bits of those every time. Reading is the obvious one. You got your book in hand. You can check that off your list. Writing is kind of the sneaky one, because obviously you're not going to hand your 6-month-old a pen and go, here you go. But you can start those pre-writing processes with, finger plays, or coloring, or one really fun activity I like to do is to make squishy bags. It's kind of a weird title for them, but you put flour and water and food coloring in a Ziploc bag, and you just have your little one trace shapes or lines or numbers or whatever in the bag, and they can kind of see that in the color. Just building those skills. Singing is a good one. You don't have to be a good singer. You're just singing with your kid. So if you're reading a space book, toss out Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Most people know that one. If your book has a farm animal in it, that's a great time to sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. And just make up songs as you go. Sing songs while you're cleaning up, sing songs while you're getting in the car. All those things kind of reinforce this literacy and thinking about rhymes and rhythm, all of that encapsulates in language. Talking is a really good one. Not just about what's happening in the book. My favorite question to ask kids is, what do you think is going to happen next? It's such an open-ended question. There's no right or wrong answer, really. It just gets those kids thinking. And sometimes you just get the best answers. I love it. And it just starts those critical thinking skills that they're going to need further down the line in school. Point out how many birds are in the tree in this picture. All of those things kind of just make reading fun and interactive. And then the last one is play. And play, again, is a pretty obvious one. You can reenact the story you just read. You can, reenact it with yourselves. You can reenact it with dolls or dinosaur toys, whatever you want. Make a new ending. If you didn't like the ending of that story, make your own. I try to incorporate as many forms of those 5 skills as I can when reading to kids. And that's my favorite way to do it. And then, and knowing this, so to add to what kind of things we're doing later in the summer, we are offering a storytime class for parents. We're doing a small series throughout the summer. And we'll model a story time for parents, and then we're going to teach parents how they can kind of take the library story time experience home. Teach them some new songs or rhymes that they probably don't know yet. So as we love having people come to the library for story time, and that we never want that not to be the case. But we definitely want to give parents the tools to be able to take that home. Parents are our children's first teachers. So we really want to reinforce that and help new families as much as we can with those skills.
Absolutely. And we really embrace the parent coaching model as far as our early intervention services. So we love that you're putting the resources and tools out there for parents.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing an author talk. We got Dr. Dana Susskind. She wrote the book 30 Million Words, Building a Child's Brain. She's doing an author talk, a virtual author talk for us over the summer. And her work talks about the importance of talking and what that does to your child's well-being, not just at that moment, but going forward in their life in learning. So we're really excited to be able to have her, and we're hoping that lots of parents take advantage of that program, that free program that we're offering.
Question is, what is your favorite story to share with toddlers?
I cheated a little bit.
Oh, you cheated. Okay.
You gave me this question in advance. I don't have a single answer. I know it's terrible. But I have kind of 2.5 answers. For the little ones, it's board books all the way. I love board books. I think some of the funniest, some of the cutest books are coming out in board book form. I grabbed a couple of these ones, which is Baby C's First Colors and then White on Black. These are really good for little ones because babies' eyes aren't fully developed yet. They can't see colors as well as grown-ups can. Some of these don't even have words, but they have really high contrast pictures that little ones can look at. This First Colors one's for slightly older because it starts introducing a couple other high contrast colors. They're really good. Again, board books are great because we know that babies read with their mouths sometimes, not just their eyes. So
yes,
so I love a board book. I also love board books because I think authors are getting savvy to what parents are also wanting to read. So we have fun, remastered versions of classic fairy tales. This one's called Terrapunzel. It's a pterodactyl version of Rapunzel. So silly, but so fun, and what a great take on a classic tale that we all kind of already know. And even if you don't know it, what a great introduction.
Yeah.
And then also, you know, board books come in biographies. This is one about Ella Fitzgerald. And then there's this one that teaches you political science. Like, so
Wow.
just come a long way. They're not just for babies, you know. As someone who doesn't know much about political science, this is kind of right on my grade level, I think. But you know, yeah, but they're fun. They're simple. Again, they're fun for parents and kids to read. Especially if you have one that likes to read the same book over and over and over again. It's fun to have a fun book that you also like to read. For those slightly older kids, I really like, I like a lot of things, but I only brought one author this time around. But Christie Matheson, I think, is really good for kids who are starting to be able to listen to picture books. Picture books are a little longer. They take a little bit more attention, and sometimes that's hard to just sit and listen. So her books, you know, there's Touch the Brightest Star here, Plant the Tiny Seed, which is another one of her newer ones. Not only are they good picture books, but they're interactive. So, for example, in this one, you know, she asks you to gently press the firefly. So you can press the firefly, and then you go forward, and then because you pressed it, it lit up. And so now let's blow a quiet breeze. So you're blowing the breeze in the book. So you're interacting with the story more than just listening. And I think that they're a really good bridge between like a board book and a longer picture book that you would just kind of sit down and absorb and love in that kind of way. But I think it's a good bridge. So those are the ones I brought. I could talk about that for...
I can imagine working in the library, you have quite a few books that are your favorite.
A librarian's least favorite question is, what is your favorite book? Because there's, when are you talking about? what are like? You know, and I think that comes with kids' books too. There's just so many great ones out there. I think publishing has come so far.
I love that you got the whole span there, really recognizing again that we can start reading with those high contrast books so early on and exploring pre-literacy skills. So.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, I've heard from many parents that these kind of high contrast books are really good for tummy time. Diaper changes, it kind of distracts them, makes those processes a little easier. So I think, they're really great. It's never too early.
Yes, I like that a lot. Well, I feel like we got a lot of information. I wanted to try to keep this as a short interview, but I'm so sure that there's so much more that we can connect on. Like I said, I already have some notes that I want to put in our YouTube video and share with parents. Is there any way to specifically contact the library for more information?
Yes, all of our branches, even though right now we're at front door service, all of our branches are open in that capacity. So you can give your local branch a call. If you're unsure about what their hours are, the updated schedule is always posted on our website at jcls.org. So you can do that. We have started reprinting our event guide. We have event guides. These come out every quarter. So they have our spring one goes March through May. In May is when our summer one will come out, and that'll go for June through August. And it'll have all the things, from take and makes to in-person programs to virtual programs. Anything that we're doing will be listed in there. So those would be, follow us on social media, all of those ways.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time today. And I guess we'll also be reaching out if there's any more connections that we can make for our community.
Absolutely.